Hey everyone, Austin back again with another Let's Play video. Today it's going to be Darius Twin for the Super Nintendo. Now Darius Twin was one of those really early shoot 'em ups for the Super Nintendo and one of the earliest releases for the system, if I recall correctly. Unfortunately, unlike games like UN Squadron, Super R-Type, Gradius 3, Darius Twin is sort of on the mediocre end of things. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. It sort of sits somewhere right in the middle. Maybe mediocre was a little harsh, but I think it's just average. And it definitely doesn't hold up that well when you look at later Darius games like Darius Gaiden and G-Darius and games like that from later generations. But yeah, I actually used to play this game a lot back in the day because I was a cheap-ass kid that, you know, blew all of my money on whatever I could get my hands on the second I got some money, which meant I bought a lot of $5 and $10 games back in the day. I actually had a copy of this game back in the day. I probably picked it up for like $7 at Funko-Land or something like that. And I played it a lot. I enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I don't quite enjoy it as much these days as I did back then, but I did play this a lot. So, yeah. I don't even know where I was going with that. I guess the point is that I have played this game a lot. I'm not just some new dude trying this out for the first time. I'm not trying to bash it or anything. I'm just, as I'm going to be playing this game, I'm going to be reminiscing from the standpoint of someone that did play it back in the day, and someone that sort of views it maybe a little bit differently now as sort of just an average shooter. But yeah, we've got our options here. You can put your player stock up to 9. Ooh, 8. Never mind. There might be a code you can input for more lives. There's 2 digits there. I'm not sure. I don't know. There is a rapid fire option. Do not turn this off. Just don't do it. Enemies take a lot of hits in this game typically, and if you turn rapid fire off, you're going to be mashing the controller a lot, and it's not going to be all that much fun. Unless you've got like an arcade stick or something, then it might be kind of cool. I haven't tried that before. Maybe I should. You got your sound test, which is basically just, you know, music and stuff like that. There are a couple of catchy tunes in this game. Nothing that's too extraordinary, unfortunately. So you might not be utilizing this that much. Game level, easy, normal. I should probably put it on easy, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it on normal. And let's go ahead and hit exit and get into the game. I would like to make a very blunt disclaimer, and that is I am probably not going to beat this game. So, this Let's Play is not going to be a full 100% completion. If it is, if I miraculously beat the game, I will post in the comments below saying I beat the game, so you know to watch all the way through. Or watch all the way through anyway, and just see how badly I play towards the end, and just see what how tough some of these later stages in the game can get. So yeah, Darius Twin, much like previous Darius games in the same series, it uses a lot of sort of trademark elements, if you will. It's got the shields, which are extremely useful. It's got your bombs, which you can activate by holding B, and then it's got your main laser shots, which you can activate by holding Y. What you have to do in order to get both bombs and lasers out at once is hold each button specifically. And in this game, what you end up doing is just holding both fire buttons the entire time. And that's it. It's pretty basic, pretty simple, and not too hard to get used to. You do have to be pretty accurate with your shots, though. As you can see, your shot isn't very wide to start off with. It gets very wide later on in the game, and that is actually just a weapon power-up I just picked up, so it's a little bit better now, a little bit more tolerable. But in the early parts of the game, you really have to be accurate with your shots, and definitely be decisive about what you attack, or what enemies you attack. Lots of small enemies here, nothing too terribly special. And that's unfortunately what you'll find a lot in Darius Twin is lots of enemies and lots of patterns that unfortunately aren't too terribly special. This game is really the epitome of average and repetitive and monotonous. We're going to be seeing a lot of these same enemy patterns that we've already seen many times throughout the course of the entire game. And the game unfortunately gets very repetitive. However, later on, towards the end of the game, they pile so many different patterns of enemies at you at once, even though you're used to seeing these patterns. There's just so many of them. It's tough to manage. So that actually is kind of cool by the end of the game. This game at least does become a challenge towards the end. One other thing I really do like about this game as well are the boss fights. The boss fights are, especially in the early stages, they're not that difficult, but they're cool still. So that is definitely a positive aspect of Darius Twin. I know I've been sort of just ranting on this game for the last few minutes since I basically started this video, but I'll try not to just rant on about the quality of the game. I mean, you can kind of see how the game plays and how it looks and how it sounds, and you can form your own opinions. Let's plays aren't really meant to be reviews, so to say, but I know I've injected sort of that into it up to this point. So basically, we're at level 2, and as you can probably tell in that previous screen, you can actually sort of change the route that you take throughout the game. There are certain levels in the game, like Stage 3, that will always be, say, Stage 3, but at other points in the game, you can actually sort of pick an A or B route, or an A, B, or C route, depending on where you are on the map. So that was sort of a Darius signature trait, which has always been probably one of its most appealing traits. Darius games usually have a lot of routes, and thus Darius games usually have a lot of replay value. Unfortunately, Darius Twin does not get the replay value part down as well as other games in the series, because again, there are certain stages where that you always have to play through no matter what, so that part will get repetitive. And then a lot of the stages aren't that different from one another, so the whole replay value aspect of having multiple stage paths and things like that definitely isn't executed quite as well as it is in other Darius games. But still, it's there, and that's pretty cool, and that's not something you saw a lot with other Super Nintendo shooters. Really, I don't know if there were any other SNES shooters with multiple stage routes except for the 2 Darius games, which was Darius Twin and then Darius Force, as it was known in Japan, also known as Supernova in the United States. The United States. I couldn't I couldn't even pronounce United States right. I am tired. As has been the case lately when I've recorded these Let's Play videos, I've been recording them after coming home from work and thus being really tired when I do these, and thus my speech is usually kind of nerfed by that point. I do 12-hour shifts, so when I come home, I'm kind of tired. It's been a long day for me, so... Alright, so this boss is pretty cool. It's actually two ships, and one sort of has, I want to say, like a head shot, and then the other has like this slow spread shot, which is pretty cool. For most of these bosses, you can sort of just sit back all the way to the back of the screen to give yourself maximum dodging distance. As you can see I'm doing right here. No shame in that. I mean, your firepower is pretty much the same as it goes all the way across the screen. And so definitely no shame in that. You're still going to do the same damage whether you're up close or far back. Your missiles, unfortunately, in this game aren't as useful as your missiles are in other Darius games, and so you're not going to usually have a situation where you can attack an enemy point blank, where both your missiles and your laser attacks will hit them at once to do double damage. There are certain bosses later on in the game where you can do that, but it's not really worth doing that because of the boss's fire patterns. I mean, you're going to die if you get up close to a lot of these bosses in the game. So, anyway, here is the map. So as you can see, after this point, there's actually quite a few different paths you can take. I'm not sure which path I'm going to take. I think I'll be comfortable with any of them. But let's go ahead and do level D. Level D is always sort of a scrolling stage. Well, they're all scrolling stages technically, but I meant sort of diagonally scrolling. This one always sort of scrolls downwards a little bit. Which is kind of cool. Definitely a good way to mix things up a little bit. I'd have to say this is probably one of the better stages in the game, maybe? I don't know. Maybe not. So as you can see, my missile power-ups are pretty powerful now. They're not even missiles anymore. They're just lasers. And this is a weapon change power-up. So now I've got a sort of a thicker laser. And by the end of this stage, I think my four-way laser missile power-up shots are going to be maxed out pretty much. You max them out pretty quickly in this game. Unlike later Darius games, actually. Yeah, I'm very close to maxing them out. They're big fireballs, so to say. Definitely a little more powerful now, which is good. But unfortunately, they only go in that same arc. Not really even an arc. It's just, you know, a perfect 45-degree angle. It would be nice if they sort of curved a little bit, which would allow you to do a little more with them, you know, strategically speaking. It's another one. And this might be maxed out now in terms of the four-way lasers. The four-way lasers, also in the beginning of the game, basically just your stock missiles, are the green power-ups. The blue power-up, which I just picked up, is my shield. And if you get enough, your shield upgrades. Now we're at the gray level, which basically the shield is stronger. It takes more hits for the shield to go away, which is great. Very, very useful. It's definitely one of the things I've always liked about the Darius series are the shields. Very, very useful power-up for sure. The next level is yellow or gold, and then that's when your shield is essentially maxed out. This should be the boss, which it is. Demon Sword. Codename Demon Sword. That's funny. There's actually a game by Taito who made this game called Demon Sword. His weak point is pretty much where his eyes are. If you shoot anywhere above or below it, you're not going to really do any damage, so you have to get it right on the eyeball. And as you can tell, bosses and enemies typically blink in this game when you're doing damage. Let's get down here to bait his attack. There you go. That way I can still hit his eyeballs. Let's try to bait it again. No, he's not going to throw it out. Well, doesn't matter anyway. He's gone. And my score is a perfect 540,000. Let's go ahead and take the top path. This is actually one of the levels that the demo reel shows. So if you just power on the game and just let it sit, you'll see this level being played in two-player mode. And that is definitely one of the better things about this game, is that it does have a simultaneous two-player mode. So it's probably a little more fun when you play it with people. Unfortunately, many other shooters on the Super Nintendo were not two players. Whoa, I died. I totally just ran into that enemy, I think. That was bad. You do get powered down a little bit, I believe. I think. Did I get powered down on my main shot? It's hard to tell. Wasn't really paying that much attention. But yeah, as I was saying, you can do two players at the same time in this game. Oh, what? Really? That was bad. Man, these turret things are not being nice to me right now. So again, guys, like I said, I was probably not going to beat this game, and because of some really bad decision making and not paying attention, it looks like I'm definitely going to make my quest a little bit more difficult now. I was actually kind of hoping I would beat the game, as I sometimes do when I tell myself I'm not going to. You know, sometimes I do get lucky when I record these videos for you guys and I just manage to complete the game somehow. Even if I usually have a bad streak at completing said game. Like this game, I usually don't beat when I play it It can be tough, especially if you're not paying attention and you die twice in a row like I did on this level. But I was hoping I would still complete it though. So now I've got my firepower at the next level, which is a really good level to be at. This weapon sort of just goes through everything, and it's powerful too. So what I want to do is actually try to keep this firepower and not change it up, because there is a way to switch off from it to another firepower type that is not as powerful and not as useful, if you ask me. So looks like I've got my shield maxed out though. It's up at the gold level, which is nice. That's it. You'll notice your firepower sometimes fires a little bit quicker when you get closer to the edge of the screen, as only so many bullets can be on screen at once. So using this weapon in particular, it's a little more beneficial to get, say, halfway in the screen when you're using it. Let's go ahead and take the top path. We'll go ahead and just stay on the top path and see where we go from there. I remember this stage. Definitely remember this stage. Had one of the themes in the game I definitely liked more than other levels. Background's not too bad either. I mean, it's just one cloudy sort of background, but I like how it's sort of shifting back and forth. So unfortunately, a lot of the backgrounds in this game don't really show off the capabilities of the Super Nintendo, and it's basically built-in scaling, unfortunately. But this level does a better job of that. You know, the shifting clouds are kind of cool. If every level had done something cool like this, I think the game would have been another step above, or another step greater than it is quality-wise. And if only the soundtrack sounded a lot better, then this game would definitely have been improved quite a bit. You know, people say that gameplay rules all. You know, a game can have terrible everything except great gameplay, and the game will be great. But, you know, for me, graphics and music definitely go a long way in complementing the gameplay. You know, the gameplay can be good, but if the music and graphics are kind of terrible, it kind of detracts from the experience, in my opinion. I like a pristine package, so to say, a balanced package where you've got good aspects of everything, good graphics, good sound, addictive gameplay, balanced gameplay, varied gameplay. But that's where this game definitely falters the most, is the varied gameplay. As you can see, that pattern of enemies that came from behind me happened 3 times in a row. These guys have already happened 2 or 3, maybe 4 times already. That sort of flying jellyfish, that's at least a good mix-up. Finally a mix-up, you know? So, but they keep tossing them out at me like they're difficult or something. So, it's repetitive already. You already tossed them out one too many times. Maybe 1 or 2 would have been sufficient, I think. Now I think I'm definitely maxed out on my 4-way laser. And then that's it. Nothing else. Whoa! More jellyfish, except now they're a different color. Ooh, ah. Talk about a mix-up. Alright. What boss is this? Dark Coronatus. I don't remember this boss, or do I? Oh yeah, it's the the seahorse. His weak point is his chest. So his pattern pretty much stays the same as far as I can tell. It just, he does a 3-way shot, once going sort of up, next going down like that, next going up again, or forward I should say, Then he does this basic spread shot. Not too difficult. A lot of the bosses in the game aren't that difficult, to be honest with you, but for some reason I like fighting them. It's just something about it. I don't really know. I can't really put my finger on it, to be honest with you. And these next two bosses, I believe, are definitely more difficult than any other boss in the game, so that definitely makes things more interesting. I'm going to another scrolling stage. I believe this is where I can change up my weapon again, but I don't want to change it up. I need to remember not to change it up, because this weapon is definitely better, especially for large streams of enemies. Okay, there it is. Cool. That's just a weapon upgrade. There's weapon upgrades and there's weapon changeovers. The weapon changeover power-up is the one that sort of almost looks like a reticule. That right there. Don't want to pick that up. I've made that mistake way too many times on this level, because this is a really solid weapon power-up right here. And it looks like I just got an extra life, which is great. I definitely needed that, because I am, yeah. I had lost 2 lives back to back, a couple stages back, so. Now on this level, you do have to make sure that you sort of play proactively with the background. You can get caught and end up dying by getting crushed by one of these blocks. Now I think this firepower might be maxed out now. I'm glad they're giving me lots of shield power-ups, though. It keeps refreshing my shield. Which basically means it reverts it back to the maximum amount of hits required to remove my shield. Which definitely is a good thing. Alright, we should be close to the boss now. This is sort of like a big turtle, if you will. And I want to say he's definitely more tricky than other bosses in the game. I'd have to say it's been a little while since I've gotten to him. So I might have to learn on the fly here. This should be it. I think. There we go. Full Metal Shell is approaching fast. How fast? I don't know. I know his head comes out with lasers, so I'm going to try to get above him, I believe. I believe that's the way to do it. Yeah. Get above him again. Or not. Oh, that was... Oh, really, man? That was dumb. I was right in front of him as I was moving up and his head came out and killed me. That's going to make things really difficult on this planet Darius, the final stage in the game, because I'm not going to have a shield. And I know if I even get to the final boss here, he's really tough as well. So this might be it, guys. I don't remember if there are any continues in this game. But all I know is this level is a pain in the ass. Just like that. Look at that. I don't think there are continues. I think there might be a continue code. Let's see. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. No continues. One thing I used to do when I was younger is I would always put my lives up to 8 because of the fact that there are no continues. Let me get my phone out and check to see if there is actually a continue code in this game. Because I would like to try to beat this game, now that I think about it, while I'm doing this Let's Play. I mean, this has only been 25 minutes long, so it hasn't been as long as other Let's Plays I've done. Darius Twin cheat. Let's see what we've got. Let's see what GameFAQs pulls up. Good old GameFAQs. Special demo. Beat the high score of 100,000 points and enter the initials ZTT. Now the demo won't have any enemies. That's interesting. Extra lives. On the main menu, highlight the desired number of players. On controller 2, hold L and R. On controller 1, hold select and start. The lives will now be set to 50. And that's it. No continue code. Continue code. I don't think there's a continue code. What the? Someone thought that there was a password code for each level, but in reality it's just a code they give for each boss, or like a code name. And on this forum, someone just points the guy to GameFAQs, which has been relatively useless. Relatively neat, but relatively useless, unfortunately. Alright guys, well, I am definitely not beating this game then, because apparently there are no continue codes, which kind of saddens me. You would think a lot of these games had the continue option. You just had to do a code, or hold like A and press start on the title screen or something like that, and it would start you back off on the last level, or whatever level you died at. But apparently, I'm reading on Wikipedia, apparently there are different endings though. You get a try again ending, you get an average ending by losing 2 or more lives during the entire game. You get a good ending, which is done by losing 1 life or less during the entire game, or 1 life, sorry. And then the great ending, which is destroyed the full metal shell without losing a single life during the entire game. See, that doesn't make any sense. Can you get the great ending by losing lives, but still destroying the full metal shell without losing a single life? Oh, sorry, I misread it. Destroy the full metal shell and not lose a single life during the entire game. Okay, I just misread that. And then there's the true ending. Dun, dun, dun. You destroyed the hyper great thing, which is the absolute final boss of the game. I believe it's like a huge whale, which is pretty tough. He's like a multiple screen boss, I think. Without losing a single life during the entire game. The 4 latter endings will never trigger unless Super Alloy Lantern is destroyed. Which one is Super Alloy Lantern? That wasn't the seahorse? I don't remember. So I guess if you want to get the true ending in the game, you have to know which path to go. See, there's some replay value to be had in this game. I mean, the game's kind of average. It's not really a great shooter, but if you really want to try to discover everything there is to discover in this game, there is replay value. And so, yeah. But anyway, guys, that's it. We are done with Darius Twin. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be back with some more Let's Play sometime soon. As usual, thanks again for watching. Really appreciate the continued support. And I'll see you guys on the next video. So until then, take care.